Hear from the man police say shot and severely injured a 9-year-old boy.
A dog found injured on the side of the road has led to an investigation in Garrett County.
And how this woman lost her family's land to a con man coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. We continue to track a breaking news alert out of Whitley County. Sheriff's deputies there are on the scene of a deadly crash involving a school bus.
The sheriff says a 10-year-old child was hit by the bus on Highway 779 near Clark's grocery store about 4 o'clock this afternoon. The sheriff tells us that child was killed. We have a news crew on the way to the scene, and we'll bring you the latest information as we receive it.
A man accused of shooting a 9-year-old boy 2 weeks ago is back in Lexington.
Deputies tracked down and arrested Alberto Contreras in West Virginia more than a week ago. He arrived back in Lexington Friday night. Police say that Contreras fired several shots into an SUV near Russell Cave and Hollow Creek, injuring that boy. Kristen Kennedy is tracking the investigation into what led up to the shooting. It's our top story at 5:30.
This is Alberto Contreras, charged with assault first degree.
For the first time, we are learning what detectives believe triggered a shooting that severely injured a 9-year-old. Earlier this month, Lexington police say Alberto Contreras parked his white Nissan Maxima near a dumpster where the victim's mother worked. They say she approached him and asked him to leave. And when she and her family left in their own car, a witness told police they saw the white Nissan Maxima following her. Police say Contreras fired several shots into her vehicle, shooting the 9-year-old sitting inside. We did talk to a family friend, and he tells us Antonio is still in critical condition at the hospital, still fighting to survive, and his family is still trying to pay his medical bills. Police say Contreras admitted to them that is his vehicle, and when they searched it, they say they found evidence in the car consistent with the assault. He's facing an assault charge, and with an interpreter by his side, the judge entered his not guilty plea. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Contreras will be back in court on April 1st.
A Laurel County man accused of shooting and killing his cousin faced a judge for the first time today. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Laurel County. Deputies say 23-year-old Jonathan Humfleet got into a fight with 31-year-old Clifford Humfleet Jr. and shot him at a home on Boardwalk Circle on Sunday morning. Clifford later died at UK Hospital. Jonathan was arraigned in court today. His bond was set at $500,000. He'll be back in court on March 31st. A second person was also arrested today in the case. 18-year-old River Humfleet has been charged with murder. He was originally taken to the hospital after the shooting for a pre-existing medical condition. In Montgomery County, police still have no leads on a missing woman. Police in Mount Sterling say 28-year-old Audrey Blackburn has been missing since Tuesday morning. Her parents say that's when she went for a walk and never came back. Blackburn is about 5'3", weighs about 120 pounds, and was wearing a pink hoodie, gray corduroy pants, brown tennis shoes, and a rainbow scarf. In Boyle County, 2 people are in jail accused of trying to steal copper from Kentucky Utilities. Danville police say when they arrived at the substation on North Bypass around 2 this morning, they saw Richard Derringer and Ronnie Sexton Jr. inside of the fenced area. They say the 2 men ran from officers, but they were found a short time later just outside of the fence. KU officials say it's not unusual for them to be the victim of theft.
It happens periodically. It happens in different places. We'll find it out along our line sometimes. We'll find it on grounds inside substations. We'll find it in a lot of places.
Both men were taken to the Boyle County Detention Center facing numerous charges, including burglary and theft by unlawful taking.
They say he's the victim of dog fighting. Garrett County Animal Control is investigating after a dog found injured was rushed to the animal shelter. Officials with the shelter say the dog they're calling Warrior is being treated right now for injuries they believe did not happen by accident. And we do want to warn you that some of the pictures we're about to show you are graphic. Victor Puente has details and a story that's new at 5:30.
In the 2 days since this dog was brought here to the Garrett County Animal Shelter, he started making a recovery. Shelter workers tell me they don't believe his injuries happened by accident. It was a couple driving along Kentucky 52 who saw the dog and brought him to the animal shelter.
He was in pretty bad shape. He couldn't hardly walk, just sore, bleeding everywhere.
He looks much better now than he did Saturday night. They cleaned him up and took him to a vet who told them his injuries could have been prevented.
She said that they were from another dog, dog fighting, you know. She's got him on medicine. She said they wasn't too deep.
Collins says he came with the name Rampage on his tag, but they're calling him Warrior because of everything he's been through. She says they've been contacted by someone claiming to be his owner who said he's a family pet who got loose, must have been attacked before he was found. Animal Control has started an investigation. Collins says they believe someone tried to use him for fighting, and when he wouldn't, dropped him on the side of the road.
Everything this poor dog's been through, he's the biggest sweetheart we've met. I mean, he never once offered to bite us when we were cleaning his wounds.
She hopes this story will influence the lawmakers in Frankfort currently considering Senate Bill 143, which would expand animal cruelty laws to include dogfighting.
People think this is fun and games and think it's fun to watch dogs murder each other, and just a slap on the wrist ain't going to get them to stop.
Until the case is resolved, Warrior will be in foster care. In Garrett County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
He looks awfully lovable, doesn't he? The animal shelter is accepting donations to help with Warrior's care. They can be made at the shelter or through PayPal to garrettjudge.windstream.net. Make sure you include "for the shelter" in the notes.
A sunny, beautiful start to our work week, but it is a week that is full of changes as winter tries to fight its way back into our region. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at your forecast.
Starting to see those changes already showing up, Amber and Sam, on the northern horizon, especially with a little cloud cover that is all of a sudden spoiling what was a beautiful day across parts of the Lexington area. Here's the skyline as we look toward the north, and behind Live First Alert Defender, clouds continue to filter on in. Let's pan the camera around and see what we can find on the southern horizon, where the clouds are still beginning to work right on top of the Lexington area. So the farther south that we look, out across Hamburg Pavilion and toward the Richmond area, look at that. All of a sudden we go from completely cloudy in the north to completely sunny on the south side of town. The beauty of central Kentucky, you get a wild swing from north to south at times. Seeing that now, 59 degrees into Lexington and Frankfort. Look at Covington, though, 45, 71 showing up into London. The really cold air, this is wintertime stuff, is just to our north. 34 from Indianapolis over toward Dayton and Columbus, 20s to the north of that. Live First Alert Defender with a clean sweep across central Kentucky, though out of the northern parts of the state, believe it or not, I'm getting a report of a little sleet into the Newport area, not too far away from the Covington-Cincinnati region. Guys, all of that is going to continue to work away from the Bluegrass state. What we will focus on will be a wild temperature ride that is on the way with the 7-day forecast just minutes from now.
A warning to drivers. Interstate 75 at the Laurel-Whitley County line will be down to one lane part of this week. On Tuesday, crews will be closing the right lane on I-75 northbound for bridge inspections. On Wednesday, they will do the same thing on the southbound right lane. The closure will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days.
The state Supreme Court is back at full strength today. David Barber was sworn in as Supreme Court Justice. Governor Beshear appointed Justice Barber back on March 4th to serve as the justice from the 7th Supreme Court District. Justice Barber served as Court of Appeals judge from 2000 to 2007. He will fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Justice Will T. Scott in January.
If you own a piece of property, one of the last things you probably worry about is a scammer stealing it from you without you even knowing it. That can actually happen.
It would make you mad if somebody takes something from your parents.
Margaret Jennings says she still doesn't understand how she lost her family's land to a con artist.
I just don't understand how he could go downtown and get the deeds.
He is Norris Fisher. Postal inspectors say he stole properties by using phony documents, forged deeds, and contracts with fake notary signatures.
He would file deed after deed on the property using fraudulent notary stamps that he had made up. He would then often take out the mineral rights and separate that from the actual property. In many cases, those properties would be sold to different people, even though he never even owned them.
Fisher filed 475 documents on 152 properties worth almost $4 million and $185,000 in mineral royalties. Royalties collected if the land is mined and produces something of value. Most of the lots were small and vacant, which is why he was able to continue this scam for so long. Dozens of victims, like Margaret Jennings, are still trying to unravel the paper trail Fisher left behind.
I need a lawyer, and I'm not able to get a lawyer. So I went to the legal aid.
She says the process to get her land back has turned into a long and expensive nightmare.
Some of these land transfers have not been cleared up yet.
Inspectors say if you're a landowner, be on the lookout for any signs that someone might have stolen your property.
Make sure that you watch out for that tax appraisal notice. There's nothing more certain than death and taxes. And if most of these victims had been aware that they had not received that tax notice, they probably would have found that the property had changed owners much faster.
It still stays with me. It never leaves me because why he did me like that. He did the whole family like that. So I'm still hurt over it.
He is being punished. Fisher is serving a 20-year prison sentence and was ordered to pay more than $4.5 million in restitution to all his victims.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A Texas senator officially throwing his hat into what is expected to be a crowded race for president on the Republican side.
And a Kentucky judge tells us what he thinks of the U.S. Attorney General nominee. Bill Bryant has the details in the bottom line.
Good evening. Although they have been quietly and unofficially campaigning for months, the Republican field of presidential candidates is hitting the track, and it began today with Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz made his announcement this morning, first as a tweet and a video just after midnight today, and then in an announcement at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. The school calls itself the world's largest Christian college, and many see his venue choice as a clear sign that Cruz will work hard for the support of cultural conservatives and young voters. Cruz has strong Tea Party support, a group that Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is also hoping to claim. Paul has reserved the Galt House in Louisville for a likely presidential announcement on April 7th. Paul is also expected to base his anticipated national presidential campaign in Louisville. Attorney General nominee Loretta Lynch is awaiting confirmation hearings in the U.S. Senate, which could be tough. It now appears that her grilling before the Senate won't come until after Congress returns from an Easter recess. But Kerry Harvey, the U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Kentucky, says Lynch would be a strong U.S. Attorney.
In fact, the Attorney General nominee happens to be a friend and colleague of mine, and I can tell you she'll serve with great distinction if she's approved by the Senate.
Harvey discussed a range of issues on this weekend's program. You can see it on demand at KentuckyNewsmakers.com. And lawmakers head into the last day of the legislative session in Frankfort tomorrow. Some items still on the table. The heroin bill and a law to address dating violence being closely watched. It's unclear if lawmakers will act on underfunded retirement pensions or deal with the gas tax issue. Some local officials predict rough roads if the tax is allowed to go down again April 1st. Of course, others say any tax going down is a good thing. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
The iconic Louisville Slugger brand has been sold to another well-known sporting brand.
Today, Hillerich and Bradsby CEO announced that Wilson Sporting Goods bought Louisville Slugger. That purchase includes the global brand, sales, and innovation rights. But Louisville Slugger bats will not have the Wilson logo on them. Famous wooden Louisville Slugger bats will still be made in Louisville, and the downtown Slugger Museum will stay there.
While we are selling the Louisville Slugger brand, we are not selling Hillerich and Bradsby. Hillerich and Bradsby will remain a family-owned company right here at the corner of 8th and Main.
Officials say about 50 people could lose their jobs. Hillerich and Bradsby has been making Louisville Sluggers the official bat of Major League Baseball for more than a century. Wilson makes the official glove of Major League Baseball.